What a view, what a view. Hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you're all enjoying your Sunday. I'm out mowing a bit of grass and you couldn't help but be in a good mood looking at views like that. We have two fields here to mow. This is the first one, and once this one is done I'm over the road and doing another one. So actually a fairly decent crop here in this one. And the X8s are absolutely savage. Very impressed with them so far. Big difference from our old ones, and actually easier drive. I'm able to mow away there at 15 kilometers an hour. No pressure on the tractor. So all is good this morning. I've been in an awful lot of fields, and every time I'm in this one, it's unbelievable. Definitely one of the most scenic fields in the country, I'd say. So we're here today, baling silage. Like I said when I was mowing it, you couldn't help but be in a good mood looking out at something like this. I'm going to stick up the drone next so you'll really be able to see it, but my god, look at that, it's just absolutely spectacular. Okay, so I stuck the drone up and I'm unsure yet whether I'll just make a video of, you know, the drone footage and then we'll do our weekly update without the drone footage or whatever. I don't know. I think I might have enough there to make a nice drone video with a nice bit of music and something I'm not worried about monetization. And those of you who don't know what monetization is basically, it's you know, that crap music that I have to put in the videos. I have to do that because if I don't get any income from the videos, so that's why when the drone is up the music is crap. But the odd one here and there I don't mind, like if the footage is good enough and it's just pure drone footage. We don't want there of kind of just basically bits and pieces of our year, and it was a song, we'll say, that would have been in the charts maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and that's I cannot claim money for that video because it's monetized, or I can't monetize it. So I'll see. Anyway, obviously, as we're doing is we're baling silage, and to be fair, there's a reasonable enough old crop of stuff here. I'd say we'll be up on maybe 7 bales to the acre that way, so a reasonable enough crop. He's just here raking it with me as well. Obviously it's the rake's first day out too, and we have another field over the road which wouldn't be quite as heavy but wouldn't be far behind it either. I have 101 things to watch here, so I probably won't be doing as much footage as I normally would baling away, but we're putting on a bit of additive as well, so I have to watch my powder applicator, that I don't have it turned on when I shouldn't, and that I'm turning it off when I should. I can't tell you what kind of powder we're using. Basically, I think the idea behind using it is I think he wants to use this silage fairly fast, so that's why he's putting the additive on it. And thankfully a man I do a good bit of dealing with and all that kind of stuff for grass seed and those things, he was able to lend me a powder box to get me out of trouble. He is to get me one. I do mean to stick one up on the baler, but I just didn't get around to it, so he was able to give me one. I collected it yesterday and stuck it on the baler, and I'm just waiting for him to get one in so I can leave it on the baler permanently. But he was able to call one back and gave me a chance to use it, so thank you very much for that. Nicholas Lean of Silo King. What we do with Nicholas is anywhere we be reseeding, and we kind of supply it. You know, sometimes we do a complete job and we do absolutely everything, and the price for everything. We put out the fertilizer, we supply the seed, we supply the fertilizer, and we do the spraying as well. So that's how I'm dealing with Nicholas. He also does additive and that kind of stuff, and he got me out of trouble with the powder box. So that was it. All I really had to do was pull out the baler and grease it, pull out the rake and grease it, and touch wood, the two of them are flying away. No hiccups so far anyway, so hopefully it stays going that way. Well, our inoculant is Agriloid. Here it is. I was talking to the rep, and he said about, what did he say? Sorry, he said about 50-55 bills to the bag. So we had 50 in the other field, and I'll just put in, suppose I'll put in half of this, probably about 30 bills there. So I'll put in half and see how we go. So basically it goes in there, and there's a small little, two like crimping rollers in the bottom of them. I think years ago when we were using them, I think we took one apart, there was some bother with it, but there's basically two kind of crimping rollers in the bottom, and they keep the stuff moving, and flows way through it, down on just a bit of rubber pipe, and down onto the grass in front of the pickup. So I'll fire this in and we'll stay going. It's savage handy for him raking if I'm here picking up as well, because there's no road, he's way in the headlands if I'm straight behind him, you know what I mean? It's basically, he's just straight in and straight out. He doesn't have to be trying to watch a row. Granted that I take the bales out of his way, which sometimes I do and sometimes I forget to, but it makes it handy for him. So sometimes when it works out that you can rake straight away, we do it. A lot of the time it doesn't work that way, so the rake will be going way ahead of you, and if there was a lot of drawing to do or something like that, we'll probably rake stuff the night before, just make it that bit easier for ourselves. As I was saying, I grouped the outside road just along that headland there, and just purely to see how we'd get on, how the more grouped it threw it away, it threw it over plenty of enough, and then I wanted to see how we'd get on raking a grouped row, whether it'd make it that bit too lumpy for the baler, or you know, whether the row be very lopsided or what. So that's kind of, I just done it in that bottom headland there just as a trial really, and it did make it a bit lumpy for me. I had to slow down a nice bit picking it up, but that's one of the reasons I have more with a grouper, that if you're in a very kind of a funny place or whatever, you can throw a row out, keep it out of harm's way of the rake and all that kind of stuff. And of course, if crops are very light, you can group the odd row, the outside row, and make your headland stroke a lot heavier for yourself picking it up. This stuff is a bit greener. It's definitely a bit greener than the stuff in the other field, but obviously you saw where the other field was. You get hay there in 2 days, I'd say. So we'll tip away nicely through it. There isn't a whole, this isn't a big field, so it's only about 4 or 5 acres that way, so it shouldn't be too long. Very high tide today. Around this time of the year you would see very high ones, and that's usually as high as you'd see it. That's actually, you would see cattle grazing most of that ground there that's totally covered in water. And we have a canal on this side, but yeah, that's definitely the highest tide I've seen this year. Well, hello everyone, and glad to see you enjoyed the silage videos. They got a huge amount of views. Thanks very much for everyone who watched, and we gained a lot of subscribers out of that as well. Today what we're doing is we're doing another bit of reseeding here. I'm just rolling the ploughed ground. So why we're rolling the ploughing is basically just to firm it up, because next we'll go working it down. We'll either give it a run at the discs now, or probably the power harrow. Give it a good slow deep power harrowing, and we'll be able to level it in and just shake out our seeds, and the job will be done. So yeah, that's basically why we roll the ploughing. And of course our roller is good and heavy as well, so it gives it a right good packing. So yeah, I'll work away at the rolling. Once I'm finished this, I'll be on with the power harrow, and we'll show you that going on too. I've explained several times about how to use these and all this kind of stuff, but this will be my first time showing you how to use the auto PTO function and the drop control, or the droop control I think it's actually called, on them. So if you give me 1 second now, I'm just backing back to the end of the furrows there. Basically what we'll be doing is, okay, so what we want her to do is when she lifts the lift, she'll knock off the PTO and she'll drop the engine revs. So the first thing we do is we knock him on. We set our drop rate, which I'm going to turn it up to 10. We have our automatic PTO switch here, which there's a little tab on him, but I don't think it stays on this one. The tab is slightly worn, so I'll just lock it on. Right, so that's locked on now. So as you can see on our screen, PTO will come on at 50% and it'll go off at 50%. So when it goes down halfway, it'll come off. When it comes up halfway, it'll come on. Our actual lift height is at 86%. You can change the two of these as well to whatever you like. So if I drop my harrow on my multi-controller pad here, the harrow is now dropping. Our drop rate is set fairly slow, I'd say. But I can put on my PTO now. So my PTO is now running, building up the revs. Our revs are up. Now when I press him, our PTO will turn off and our revs will drop. Should have, but our max height is set pretty low. So now as you see on tick over, our two, I hadn't them our sequence done properly. Our two drop control switches are on, our auto PTO is on. Press him down, tractor will rev up, knock on the PTO, press him again, revs drop, PTO off, harrow up. Okay, so unfortunately, and I'm very sorry, the last few days I didn't, one day I forgot my SD card and the following day I forgot this camera, and then another day I wasn't charged. So the last few days I didn't film too much, and sorry for that. But I'll just give you a brief rundown of what we were at. We were, obviously we finished after reseeding. I have some of that footage on my phone. So we set the seed there. We didn't obviously roll in the seeds. They were sat with the power harrow like we usually do, and then we rolled them in, and the following morning I came on and I spread fertilizer on it, and it got 3 bags of 10-10-20 to the acre. Once that's up and coming now and we've a nice cover of grass, that'll get probably a bag of 10 or something like that to really boost it, get it going. Like I was saying to you, some people just get us to come in and do the work, and other people just leave it to our devices and leave us do everything. And that was one of those jobs. We were just doing absolutely everything. The owners kind of had no, shall we say, input into the whole thing. Bar they got it soil tested, and we worked off the soil analysis. They were getting lime spread too, but like I say, we don't do any lime spreading, so it was the quarry they contacted about the lime spreading. After that then we've an awful load of mulching to do, and we're spraying as well, so getting them done there in between in the evenings, trying to get a good bit of spraying done. But in fairness, once you've access to water, spraying is a very fast job, so it's not very time consuming. You can bang out an awful lot of spraying on a calm evening, but the last 2 evenings now have been showery, so that has hampered that an awful lot. So as you can see, today we're putting out a bit of slurry with the trailing shoe. I think he's on his second round of grazing here now, so these wouldn't have been done. The whole farm more or less would have been covered with the trailing shoe earlier on, but these weren't covered because they'd be a bit wetter, so we just didn't go near them at the start of the year. And yeah, other than that, I suppose, look, today is Saturday, and tomorrow looks like it could be pretty showery, and next week is mixed again, so it'll probably be all mulching and that kind of thing next week. But we're more or less into silage season now. If you were getting weather from now on, you'll be picking up bits of silage the whole time. But growth has been slow, but thankfully we've got some rain, and I might even shoot up this evening and give you a look. Yesterday evening, I 2 nights ago, I'll start the story at the start. 2 nights ago I went and looked at a place we reseeded because it's very close to home, and it's just a case of shooting up the road and giving a look and keeping an eye on the whole thing. But just as a passing interest, and of course just because obviously I enjoy my job and I want to do my work correctly, and it's very good to keep an eye on what's going on and keep an eye on it. And you know, I can tip the farmer off then if we think it needs spraying or whatever. But basically I'll be watching that kind of stuff. So I went up 2 evenings ago to give a look, and there was nothing peeping, bare tiniest ever bit you could see. It was just peeping. And yesterday then we got kind of heavy rain up home direction, and you can probably see it there now. Over that direction is where we are, where's home, and there's cloud gathering there again, whereas here it's lovely. So we might get it again. But anyway, I went up to look at the grass seeds, and after the hour's rain they just shot up out of the ground. You know, there was just that lovely green even tinge across the field. So we might go up and give a look this evening, and I'll just show you the grass shooting, and I'll show you, you know, if there's wheatgrasses coming or whatever, we'll be able to identify the different ones. So yeah, if I get a chance this evening we might shoot up and do that, but if not, it'll just be, this will probably be the end of the video. I see our last video is doing very well, and thanks very much for everyone who's watched, and we've gained a hell of a lot of subscribers out of it, and an awful lot of views. It's been our most popular video to date, and I can see why, because there's some lovely scenery there which you will get the pleasure of seeing at the start of this video again. Well, like I said in the last clip, we give a walk around the ground. It's very near home that we reseeded, and it's starting to peep. It's ever so slightly coming. You can see it here. We just have our new seeds starting to grow. So it's at this stage really that rain is absolutely vital. If it never sprouted and we didn't get rain, it'd be okay. But it's when it's at that stage, if it doesn't get rain, you're in serious trouble. Or if you got frost at this stage, you're in serious trouble. But looking at the weather, the week is wet, thanks be to God, and the soil temperature should be fairly well up after the last 2 weeks we've had. So all is good. One problem we're facing here is rabbits. We have a serious problem with rabbits. So I'll have to keep a very close eye on it, and hopefully it won't be too much of an issue. But they're just nibbling at the new grass seeds, which it'd be okay if they were to nibble at them and let them grow away. But the stage they're at now, like you can see here, the stage they're at now, if you try breaking that, you actually wouldn't. You just pull it out of the ground. So that's what happens when they go nibbling on them. They pull them out of the ground, opposed to actually eating them. They pull the seed, root and everything out. So that's the challenge we're facing. What can we do? I don't know. If anybody has come across that problem with rabbits before, let me know in the comments, and your feedback would be greatly appreciated. So that's basically it from me. I might go and give a look at another 1 or 2 of them and see what they're like, but I'd imagine much the same team, but very happy with this one anyway for the time being. So yeah, thanks everyone who's watched, liked and subscribed, and we'll see you next week.